Alright, welcome back to the Speed Paint Ork Boy, where our next color is this Pallid Bone. So I'm going to give that a shake and get some out on my palette. And I do always shake these really good before I start filming, so I would definitely shake these paints a lot longer than I do on camera. We're going to just kind of take a quick look at this guy as we put some teeth on him. Really, I think that's the only thing on him that I'm gonna have be this bone color. Let me see. Yeah, his teeth and that's pretty much it. So we're just gonna throw it on his teeth real quick, this Pallid Bone. And for that today, in case you're curious, I am using my Army Painter starter brush. And this is actually a really nice brush for speed paint when you need detail. It comes to a fine point, but it's got enough body in those bristles to be able to soak up a little bit of that speed paint, and that is essential to getting good coverage and good contrast. I know it's weird saying contrast when you're doing speed paint, but speed paint creates good contrast. Alright, so we're just going to paint that on here. This is a definitely fairly thin paint, and so I'm going to be re-dipping my brush and trying to get it in here, trying to keep him on camera too. And there we go. I am, for this video, using a different microphone, an external microphone, hoping to cut down on the tss kind of sound that you might have heard in some of the last few videos. That hopefully will look really nice when it's dry. Maybe I gotta touch up his gums a little bit there with some green, but there you go. I mean, that's the bone. Let's get on some of these other guys. So one of the thoughts I had as I was painting the other colors on these guys is, I film a 10-minute video, for example, painting on the leather brown on one character, and the thought I had, which is probably means it's the question that you had, was how long does it actually take to do this? And the answer is, I filmed a 10-minute video painting it on one guy, and then what I did was I replayed the video, listening to the audio to make sure it was, good, and kind of looking at the video a little bit. And as I was doing that, I painted everybody else. So 10 minutes for one, and then 10 minutes for the other 4. And so I would think you'd be pretty quick with this speed paint if you're not filming it. And I'm imagining you probably do most of your painting not filming it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, drop me a link to your channel below, or just comment and say, this is, my channel. Comment on your channel account. I'd love to see what you're up to on your channel. That would be awesome. So feel free to drop that in. I go with the philosophy of my local game store. Other painting channels aren't competition. My local game store says other local game stores aren't competition. We can all be, friendly to each other and support each other. So if you're filming stuff like this, let me know. Let's do a little collaboration or something, or at least, comment that you are, and let's kind of get some people going back and forth, huh? Because I think the more different perspectives you get on, especially on painting, the better painter you'll be overall. So there we go, we're getting the teeth color on. I was a little bit too much on the brush there for that side, but actually that's probably going to seep in real nice. What I'll do is I'll paint kind of on this side, and then I'll come soak some of that up. There we go, and I'll deposit it over here. Oh, you can't see that, it's off the camera. There we go. And yeah, so there we go. Well, bone color on those teeth, and we'll see how that dries, and I'll give you an update, of course, on that, either as a separate video or likely for this color. Honestly, I'll do it as a just as the start to the next video. You'll get to see that. And speaking of that, let's just take a minute, because we're not too far into this. I like to keep them under 10 minutes if I can, but closer to 5 is fine. But just take a look at some of the leather here. I like how this guy's leather wrapping on his gun turned out. You can really see how the speed paint gives that depth. That's just a heavy coat of the speed paint on his armband too, and then on all his leather straps. That's just a coat of the speed paint. Got a little bit of blue seeping in there that I gotta maybe work with on some of those straps, but oh well. We got this guy here, you know, his little hat feathers or whatever, and then his leather turned out pretty good. I gotta touch up that dark spot on his blue somehow. Not sure how I'm gonna do that yet. And then we got this guy. He's got his leather. Needs a little bit more brown on there. Touch it up in some spots, but that worked out pretty well for him. You can see the difference between the brown and the orange. I was worried, especially on some of these darker colors of primer, that they'd be about the same. And so we got this guy. I think his little arm band thing here turned out pretty good. His leather turned out pretty good as well. Got a little bit of touch up of blue I need to do. I got some areas there that are, you know, do we really need to paint those areas? This guy, the brown and orange look a lot similar. He's the 2X, you know, a pretty dark gray primer. And then this still continues to surprise me. The Army Painter brush-on primer as a primer for under their speed paint. Look at that. Look at the handle of his, you know, choppa there and his armband there, and even some of the buckles on there. Got a little bit of touch-ups to do, but really, as far as how this is flowing over the brush-on primer, wow, that's pretty great. So there you go. Quick little update there as we've added the bone color to all of these guys, and we'll be finishing them up here with these last few things in a future video. I think I'm going to start by putting the gray speed paint, or we're going to use the gray and we're going to use the black still. So gray speed paint on the weapons, and then black, or not black, but the Gravelord gray speed paint on the boots and things and gloves. So be watching out for those. Those will be on this playlist and of course on the channel. So come on back when those videos are out and keep an eye out for them. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Hope this was useful to you. Take care.